Al-mashura, meaning consulting, seeking advice from others. And mostly if we go to the dictionary, we will find that it is seeking an expert knowledge from professional persons in a specific field. And in Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us that we should always seek advice from our brothers. We should seek advice in things that we're planning to go about to do. It is part of our deen. It is part of our religion. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ. He is speaking to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that seek their advice, consult them, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Scholars said three things about this ayah. Does Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam need anyone's advice? No. But the scholar said, one, in terms of help, in terms of warfare, he has to seek knowledge because it has to do with something that it should be based upon idea, engagement, consulting others, seeking their ideas. That's why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he went out for Ghazwat Badr, he consulted the Sahaba. He asked them that I'm seeking your advice about this expedition, Ghazwat Badr. And there was a companion who said to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Rasulullah, I will give you my thought about this Ghazwa. Let us go and station at a place where there is a water, a well. لنركز في محل الماء. We should get control of water because it is a desert area. So what happened was that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and his companions went and stationed to the positions where there were a well, a source of water. And that was in fact, after the help of Allah, the decisions that improved the skill of the mu'mineen during Ghazwat Badr. Because when the people of Quraysh, when they came, the water that they brought with them, they finished all within 2 to 3 days. So they were in search of water and at the same time trying to fight Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and his companion. Two scholars said that Allah commanded Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to seek advice from his ummah in order for us to know the essential aspect of seeking advice in life. For us to know the essentiality and necessity of seeking advice. The importance of seeking advice. Some scholars said, the third opinion about it is that Allah commanded Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to seek advice from his ummah because Allah wants it to be a sunnah, a tradition for us to follow in our life after the death of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in a hadith, مَا خَابَ مَنِ اسْتَشَارَ, that no one will regret whoever seek advice from others before doing anything. So before you execute any project, you have to gather ideas, consult, then you will be on the right path. And Uyayna, he was one of the most brilliant scholars at his time. He said there are three types of men. There are three types of men. رجل كامل ونصف رجل ورجل لا رجل. He is a man of wisdom. So he said that there are three types of men. The first one is a full person, a man, a complete man. He said a complete man is the man who has a good idea, and also in addition to that, he will always seek advice from smart people. So he said that person is a complete, strong, intelligent person that you should follow. You should seek to be your role model. He is smart, but Also, he seek advice from others. وَرَجُلٌ نِصْفُ رَجُلٌ, and a man who is half a man. And who is that person? He is smart, he is intelligent, but he doesn't seek advice from others. He believes or he trusts his own idea. And then the person who he described as رَجُلٌ لَا رَجُلٌ, a man that is not a man. He is a man in shape, in structure, but in terms of engagement, in terms of reliability, he is not a man. In a sense that he has no idea and he doesn't want to consult or seek advice from experts in any aspect of his life. You will find such a person always misguided, regretful in all his life. So Uyayna said he classified men into these three groups. A man who is a complete person, he has idea and also he seeks advice from others. A man who is half a man, or a woman who is a half woman, in the sense that he or she has a good idea but they don't seek advice from others. They rely upon their idea, thinks that everything is what they believe. And the third person is a man who is not a man, in the sense that he has no idea and he doesn't seek advice or consultations from others. And as we know, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to seek advice from his Sahaba. He used to advise them, seek their ideas. And there is a man called Mansur. He said to his son, خُذْ عَنِّي اثْنَتَيْنِ, that seek or take two instructions from me, O my son. He said to him, لَا تَقُلْ مِنْ غَيْرِ تَفْكِيرٍ, do not say anything without thinking. Think before you talk. وَلَا تَعْمَلْ مِنْ غَيْرِ تَدْبِيرٍ, and do not go ahead to execute any project without planning. You have to plan before you go ahead to do anything. So this is very important. We have to plan before we go ahead to do anything. And before we talk, we have to think prior to talking, uttering the words. There was a man called Nuh ibn Maryam. Nuh ibn Maryam, his neighbor was al-Majusi, a person who worshipped fire. He was a pagan. And Nuh ibn Maryam was the judge of Marwa. So someone came to marry his daughter. Nuh ibn Maryam went and sought advice from his neighbor, a pagan neighbor. And then this man was so confused. Ya Nuh, you are the judge of this city. Everyone comes and seek advice from you. And you are coming to me to seek an advice? So he said, it is something that our religion commands us to seek advice from others. So he said, well, I'm going to tell you a few things. If you want to marry your daughter, there were traditions before Islam. First, he said the leaders of Furs, they used to, the criteria of marrying was to seek someone who is beautiful. The leader of Furs, the Persian Empire, their leaders, the criteria of their marriage was to seek the most beautiful persons in their community. And the Roman community, the leaders, they used to rely more upon money. The most wealthy persons in their community, they will marry their daughter to that person. Or they will marry the most wealthy women in their community. And the Arabs, before Islam, the pre-Islamic Arab Peninsula, their leaders, what they used to rely on in terms of marriage is to seek the most powerful family or tribe. They used to marry the daughters to the most powerful, famous tribe in the community. But for you, Nuh ibn Maryam, your leader, who is your prophet, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his criteria to marry his daughter was to seek the most pious person. So do whatever you want to do. And subhanallah, this was the same advice that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gave us. He said, marry a daughter to someone who is religious, who is pious, conscious about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, we want to discuss who you should seek your advice from. We should seek our advice from someone who we trust. Al-Amin. Al-Alim, someone who knows what he's talking about. So basically, if someone comes here tonight and said, Abu Bilal or Imam Sakur, I want for you to give me some advice about IT, information technology. I would like for you to give me some advice about C+. I will have no clue. Or if someone comes and tells me, and say, oh, brother Imam, I just came to have a consultation with you about real estate. I would just try to look in the community and look for someone who is brilliant, expert in that field. And then you can go and talk to that person. I want to build a house or buy a car. I would say, I have no idea. That's not my field. Business analyst. Again, we'll find someone in the community who is an expert about it. Business, MBA, we'll find someone who knows about it. A doctor, we'll look for the doctors in our community who has ideas that can give him advice about that. So you have to seek advice from someone who thinks that is reliable, he is knowledgeable, he is an expert in that field. And then you should always seek advice from an Amin, someone who is trustworthy, who, when you seek advice from, will not go behind you and expose you to others. Because whatever I am telling you, I will tell you it is between me and you, so you have to contain it, you have to know that it is a privacy, so you have to tell someone who you trust. And among the conditions about people that you can seek advice from is that someone who you know, someone who you know, someone who you know. And to this point, the scholars said that there are people, 5 types of people that you should not seek advice from. And there is a hikmah. And they said that the first person that you should seek advice from, that you should not seek advice from, is a jahil, an ignorant. Why should we not seek advice from an ignorant? Because he does not know what he is talking about. He does not know what he is talking about. You have to seek knowledge or advice from someone who knows what he is talking about. The second person that you should not seek advice from, they said, al-adu, your enemy. Someone who you know that this person is against me, is against my progress. The scholar said, do not seek advice from that person. Because why? He is looking for your downfall. So whatever he's going to tell you, it's not going to be khalisan min qalbi. So you should ask someone or seek advice from someone who you think that he is not your enemy. And among the persons that you should not seek advice from, al-hasud. Al-hasud, someone who always envy you. Someone who envy your life, your progress, your talent. And we have to know what is al-hasad. Al-hasad means someone who saw Brother Muhammad Al-Amin, he has a car business. And alhamdulillah, Allah has given him barakah. He started his business with 2 cars, but now he has 100 cars, Mercedes. MashaAllah. And you have a friend that is saying, oh Allah, what you has given to this man, he does not deserve it. Take it away from him and give it to me. That is a hasad. تمني زوال النعمة عن الآخر. You should always think that Allah should take away, withdraw the ni'mah that Allah has given to someone to give it to you, because you think that he is better than him. And when we say al-hasad, who we normally think about, the first hasud was shaitan, Iblis. When he said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when Allah commanded him to make sujood li Adam, what he said? He said, أَنَا خَيْرٌ مِّنْ. I am better than Adam. خلقتني من نار وخلقته من طين. You created me from fire, and he was created from dust. So I'm better than him. Why should I prostrate for him? Why should you give him just a merit of value? So you should not seek advice from someone who you think is hasud. And another thing is that you should not seek advice from someone who likes to show up, who likes to boast over others, who thinks that he is smarter than everyone, who thinks that he is better than everyone. Why? Because he is not going to advise you with good words. What he is going to say to you is not sincere, because his underlying goal is to seek the approval of people, even if there's nothing that will benefit you. So they said that you should not seek advice from that person, and someone who always follow his desire. Do not seek advice from that, because he will not advise his mindset or his idea or his ideology to give you the right one. So basically, we have to know that these are some of the people that you have to avoid when you're seeking advice from. And I would like to touch one point here, is that there are etiquettes of seeking advice. And when you're giving advice to others, there are etiquettes. Some scholars said that if you are seeking advice from people, always try to meet people one-on-one and talk to them. Do not bring 2 or 3 people to say that I want to talk to you about this issue in my life. Probably there will be competitions of ideas. Someone will say, well, I want to show up that my idea is better than other one idea. So try to meet and talk to someone one-on-one, and then go to Abdullah Abu Adnan, Dr. Zia, meet one-on-one. So they say that you should meet one-on-one, and also do not accuse. If someone advises you, if someone comes to me and said, Abu Bilal, I want to buy a car, and I told him I'm not an expert in a car business, he said, well, it's not matter, just give me an idea about a car. And he asked me, I want to buy a car, give me your idea, what is the best car? Then I said to him, go and buy a PT Cruiser. And then he went and bought that, and after 2 days or 3 days, he said, whoa, that is not the car that I was thinking of to buy, because it's not a strong car. Then you should not come back at me to say, oh, Abu Bilal, you gave me wrong advice. You are this. No, the scholar said you should avoid that. Because what he did is that he gave you his best knowledge about an issue in life. And also, they said, do not seek advice from someone who is suffering or experiencing hunger. An hungry person or a thirsty person. Someone spent 2 days without food, and you came to him and asked him, man, I want for you to advise me on this and this issue. Probably he will be talking to you and he doesn't know what he is saying to you, because he is starving. So do not seek advice from someone who is starving. Seek advice from someone who you know that in a very stable conditions, and then you can definitely work with this. So there is, again, to recap what we have just learned, it is vital in our religion that we should seek advice from others. And whenever we seek advice from others, we should know that we have to seek advice from an expert, someone who is an expert in that field. And also we should be sincere. We should be sincere about what we're saying. We should also seek advice from someone who is knowledgeable. And do not seek advice from your enemy. Do not seek advice from an envy who envy you about your life, your progress, your tatawwur. Do not seek advice from someone who always like to boast, thinks that he is better than everyone. Do not seek advice from someone who is not knowledgeable in the field. So if you avoid all these, you will definitely be successful in your life And also, like the scholar said, do not speak without thinking. And when you are trying to execute anything, always plan before you go ahead to do whatever you plan. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our sins. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us more knowledge. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our sins. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for coming tonight. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وتجاوز عن سيئاتنا. اللهم ارحمنا فأنت بنا راحم ولا تعذبنا فأنت علينا قادر. والطف بنا يا مولانا فيما جرت به المقادير. هذا وصلى اللهم على نبينا محمد. And we will always go and do our group to group discussions for 5 minutes. Inshallah, the food is ready. Probably. We will do.
Stop it. Stop it.
And Jazallahu kulla khair, our brother Akram, he